Welcome back to the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network, where two new faces are here on the broadcast side of things. I'm going from behind the camera to in front of the camera. I'm Charlie Adams, entering my freshman year at the University of Rhode Island, and I'm alongside Daniel Botolino, one of our producers.
Yeah, really good to be here. Great time so far, up with the Hawks up 4-1. And it's a kind of a relaxing day, you know? It's a good day. Number one seed clinched. We're all having fun. We're coming in off the bench, and it's nice.
Yeah, well, if you're a fan of change, sorry. But if you're not a fan of change, you're in luck. We'll be with you for the rest of this broadcast. Me and D-Bot taking you in for these final 4 innings, and we'll pick up in the 6th inning with the Harbor Hawks at the plate. Daniel Powell still on the mound for the Red Sox.
Yeah, Powell's still on the mound. He's been decent so far. A little bit of trouble with the control, but he's gotten the outs, only 1 run out, and he's kept them in the game so far.
Coonan will lead us off for the Hawks. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Takes the first pitch in for a ball. Jake Coonan struck out and then flown out to center field in his 2 at-bats today. And strike called there. It's 1-1.
Yeah, I find these guys really interesting. These guys that are fresh into the league, they're jumping in 1 game before a big playoff run. And you wonder what their mentality is and how they're handling all of this.
Ground ball towards the third base. Shortstop fields it deep. Throw on to first, and good play there by Garotti for the out.
Yeah, that's a heck of a play. Getting it gets by the third baseman. You kind of think it's in no man's land. Backhands it and kind of fields it off of his back foot, so he has the momentum throwing forward. He makes a really good, strong throw. Got in good position, and that's just as fundamental as it gets.
Lineup flips over to Kane Kepley, who is 1 for 1 with a single and 2 hit by pitches today. Hits in all at bats. Takes ball 1 high to start off his 4th at bat. His second look against Powell. Couple stolen bases on the day, as he'll take that for a strike. Man, 1-1 count.
It really has been the quintessential Kane Kepley game, hasn't it? A couple of hit by pitches, a single, going on base a bunch of times.
Well, the leadoff bat, and you always want him to get on base, and he's done that better than almost anyone you could think of. Fouling that one off, it's 1-2.
Yeah, broke the wood bat walk record yesterday for the Hawks. It's been talked about a lot. It took him a while, but I mean, he was as good as anybody in the first half of the season this year. Slowed down a little bit. I think teams could kind of start to figure him out, but he's made some key adjustments as of late and has really started hitting again.
The 1-2 from Powell misses. It's 2-2. 2-2 pitch. Up high, count full now, 3-2.
He's also a guy that has a knack for the big moment. Walk-off hit in the All-Star game, has scored the walk-off run in a couple of games this season.
Full count pitch going to be popped up in play for the catcher, Carmichael, who goes on his back foot to make the catch and put away Kepley for the second out.
Yeah, that's coming straight down. It's tailing back on those plays. So try to get the mask off. The ball's not coming towards you like it is as an outfielder. The ball's coming straight down, and it's really tough to get a read on those. And that's why you see oftentimes them having to reach back, because it's got that spin on it that's going to keep coming down and keep tailing away from you.
A cloudy day here at Red Wilson Field. Some threatening clouds, but it's what it's been all day. As Josh Tate steps into the box. And the first pitch from Powell is good for a strike. It's 0-1. Tate on the day, 0 for 2 with a walk. Powell's 0-1 pitch. Go inside, it's 1-1. 1-1 count. Powell working from the set, firing in the dirt, and bouncing away 2-1. On deck batter Eddie Pelk goes out and retrieves the ball as Count now 2-1. Tate will watch that in, and it evens the count 2-2.
Yeah, Tate, another guy, very similar skill set.
And that froze Tate there for strike 3. A 1-2-3 inning for Daniel Powell sends us to the bottom of the 6th inning with the score still 4-1. Hyannis leads. After a 1-2-3 inning for Mason Martinez, his service is no longer needed for the heart of the Red Sox order. It's Cade Brown on the mound to replace him.
Yeah, Cade Brown, the Sacramento State Hornet, second team freshman All-American this season, during the spring season, I should say. And for him, 10th appearance, 14 and a third innings, 8 earned, ERA of 5.02. A guy with a very over-the-top delivery, fastball slider, splitter. And the splitter is by far his best pitch. That's his pitch that he'll grip before he comes set. And that's his get-out pitch. The late break, the late hard downward movement. And he's been really solid. He's been a consistent force of the pen for them. He's got to throw strikes. Sometimes he gets hit. That's been the issue with him this season. But 19 Ks to just 3 walks. So he's not going to walk a lot of guys, and he's got to make them hit you. Unfortunately for him, maybe one of the best hitters in the league, maybe the best hitter in the league, is who's at the plate.
Yeah, we've heard the case made by multiple broadcast teams on our side today for Ethan Petrie as that man feared by most of this league, and he'll lead it off 1 for 2 on the day with a single in his last at-bat. As Bargo returns behind the plate after a quick meeting on the mound with the new arm, Cade Brown. Brown's first pitch has Petrie leaning out of the way for ball 1.
Yeah, Petrie, as they mentioned, the most outstanding pro prospect. He was awarded that before the game today, and for good reason. A potential top 10 pick in next year's draft.
Brown misses low, now falling behind 2-0 on the dangerous Petrie. It's a big honor. The commissioner coming in pregame for a nice ceremony before we took you live on air.
I mean, that's as meaningful as an award as any. You know, maybe MVP. It really rivals MVP in this league.
Pop up in foul territory, now drifting back in play. Saldivar makes the out.
That's a good job by Cade Brown to not give in there on the 2-0, not just try to groove him something, make a good pitch.
Anthony Martinez up to the dish. Tall, standing lefty playing first base today for the Red Sox. Cade Brown set for the pitch and delivering it high and outside for ball 1.
And just to finish the thought on Petrie, I mean, you look at guys who have won that award over the years here, Mark Teixeira, Andrew Miller, Matt Wieters. We're talking about legit all-stars, legit stars. Jeff Hoffman, who was just for Hyannis in 2013, who was just made his first all-star team. I mean, that award means something in this league, and it means something to, scouts.
Brown's next pitch fouled off.
Last year's winner, Cam Smith, Hyannis Harborhawk, got drafted 14th overall.
Half swing.
Draft.
And at the plate, home plate umpire Cameron Damati ruling that a strike. The 1-2 pitch, just outside, 2-2. It's a 2-2 count, 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning. And that'll be grounded down the first base line, rolling foul, stays 2-2.
Martinez is everything you could want out of a hitter like him. Discipline, more walks than strikeouts in the spring season. 74 RBIs, 9 home runs, 316 batting average. I mean, all Big West first team, UC Irvine guy, and they're lucky to have him.
Cade Brown's pitch will be grounded to the second baseman, Coonan. Throw onto Bryce for the out. And quickly, Cade Brown, 2 up, 2 down in the bottom of the 6th.
That's Cade Brown's MO. Pitch the contact, get weak contact, get ground balls. That's what he did there.
Easton Carmichael now up to the plate. Carmichael 0 for 2. And doing the catching for YD. The Red Sox do have some action in their bullpen. Bullpen at Red Wilson down the left field foul line as the first pitch from Brown to Carmichael misses. It's 1-0. One and 0 from Cade Brown is going to be fouled up and out of play. Some fans scrambling, some looking to make a play on it, and Kyrie Irving might have just come up with that baseball.
Duke Kyrie Irving, nevertheless.
Oh, yeah.
I've been to, every game this season as a producer, every road game. I've never seen a ball get caught in the air.
It's a bit dangerous as Cade Brown gets a big swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt.
Not when you have a glove. I mean, you'd think eventually someone would catch it, but also it's a lot of little kids scrambling around. They all get in one area, and then they all back off as the ball is actually falling down. Survival instincts kick in. You'd think somebody would catch one in the air.
1 ball, 2 strike as Carmichael dribbles it to Saldivar at third base to throw onto first. Not in time. Ryan DeMare, the first base umpire, right on top of it, says Carmichael beat it to the bag.
There's been a few of those for YD this game. For a team that's clinched the 1 seed, they're hustling on everything. And that time, just beat it, bang, bang. Ump's got a better angle than us. So,
an infield single for Carmichael. The stretch from Dawson Bryce, not enough. And this inning will continue with Cade Brown now working with a runner on. 1 pitch, 1 swing to the shortstop Acosta, who flips onto Coonan for the out. And that will do it for the bottom of the 6th inning. No score. Runner left on first base as the score remains 4-1. You're watching the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Top of the 7th inning here at Red Wilson Field, and it's a new arm in for the YD Red Sox. Daniel Powell, after 2 2/3 innings, is relieved by Noah Shakowski.
yeah, Tchaikovsky transfer from A10 to ACC, St. Bonaventure to Pitt of North Huntington, Pennsylvania, the sophomore. A little bit of a high ERA in the spring, 15 appearances, 10 starts, a 7.26 ERA. But a big strikeout guy, 48 Ks, 53 and a third innings pitched, 23 walks, and a guy who has fared fairly well here, and he's just trying to keep them within striking distance. In a 2 1/3 inning, 3 earned, 2 walks, 3 Ks here, but a small sample size.
So Powell finishes his day with 1 run, unearned, gave up 1 hit, 2 strikeouts, and will leave the heart of the order to the new arm in for the Red Sox. And it starts off with the 3-hole bat, Eddie Pelk.
Yeah, not exactly been Pelk's day. Couple of strikeouts, a hit by pitch. So the one time he did get on, it was painful.
First pitch strike from the new wing. Oh, 1 pitch in the dirt. It's 1-1. Cannon Peebles waits on deck. The 1-1 pitch is in there. It's 1-2. Strike on the outside. Sakauchi, 6'1", pitching from the right side here. As the lefty Eddie Pelk takes it low in the dirt, it's 2-2.
Yeah, I think of all the really solid things our baseball ops team has done here in Hyannis this year they've been great at finding the outfielders when we've lost them.
Pop up out of play foul. It stays 2-2.
You know, you lose Groves, you lose Parker Brocious early in the year, and you've been able to find production after production after production with Carson Bowles, who just recently left, Pelk and Tate, all coming in mid-season and being really good acquisitions. A team that really didn't have a whole lot of depth early on.
Yeah, the pitch missed outside. It's full 3-2. And depth is really what separates these teams in the Cape League, especially now with the draft playing a bigger factor than ever, as the 3-2 pitch bounces off the plate, and Pelk will take his base on the free pass. Runner on first for Cannon Peebles stepping up here. He's 1 for 3 on the day, but that one was a big one for the Hawks.
Yeah, 419-foot bomb right out to dead center, and part of a back-to-back home runs. He was the first one, and his Tennessee teammate Dalton Bargo was the other, and it was a shot. You know, Red Wilson Field, kind of a little notorious for being a hitter's park. That was gone in 10 out of 10 stadiums.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Pelk leads off first and now scurries back on the pickoff. As Peebles waits at the plate for the first pitch of the at-bat. Going back to the depth, it's a big part with the draft, and you're seeing some of our depth here on the broadcast side.
Yeah.
Going all the way down the ladder here, even to the mere cameraman.
But we had like 8 different really good broadcasters. Bet you didn't know that.
There you go. As after the first pitch misses low, going to be a mound visit coming from Carmichael. Bit of a scramble there for Carmichael to block it. Maybe a bit of a mix-up with the new arm.
Yeah, a lot of these pitchers that we're seeing today, you know, you don't want to use your strongest arms in a game that is virtually meaningless. You know, haven't been here a while, so they're still trying to get on the same page with their catchers. Catchers are still trying to get a feel for how these pitches move. Oftentimes the warm-up pitches that they're catching are the first time they've caught them at all.
Zukowski catches his own there. It's 1-1.
Just finishing the thought on depth. I mean, there was a time where Casey Hintz, an all-star relief pitcher for the Harbor Hawks, was playing left field. You know, he plays a little bit of two-way at Arizona, but definitely a kind of a pitcher through and through, and he was playing left field just because they needed to have someone out there.
Now back-to-back pickoffs over to Pelk, who dives in safely both times.
And to his credit, he played a solid defensive left field. He did what he needed to do. But, I mean, this is as good of a defensive and offensive outfield as you'll find on Cape.
Peebles watches the strike in, and Carmichael threatened to throw down the first. Pelk is taking a lot of attention here over at first base. Pitcher set. Pitch half swung on, and it looked like a piece of it fouled off by Peebles. But I caught a bigger piece of the catcher, Carmichael.
Yeah, he's in some pain here. Got him on the elbow, it looked like. Foul tip on the check swing, deflected right onto the elbow, and you never want to see that.
In this game, of course, you've probably heard it from almost everyone here. It doesn't really matter. But Carmichael now meeting with the trainer behind home plate.
And that's your biggest fear, right, these games. You know, you got to go out there, you got to play, and you got to try, but you don't want to lose a player. So hopefully he's all right. Even if it wasn't a virtually meaningless game, hopefully he would be all right.
These clouds might play a factor as this game goes on. Darker and rolling in. And at this field, like another field on the Cape, home of Cotuit Lowell Park, no lights. So
Yeah, no lights here, no lights in Katuitt, no lights in Brewster. Brewster actually starts their games at 4 after the All-Star break. These games are 4:30 starts at Katuitt and here after the All-Star break. And
usually as producers, that's a good thing for us when those lights come out and it's too dark to play. Get to go home a little earlier, or at least know
Yes.
when you're going home. But we're trying to get our reps in here on the mic. Hope that the sun cooperates, or at least the clouds, as Carmichael will come out of this game.
yeah, Carmichael out. Hopefully he's okay, and hopefully this is there's no reason to keep him in type of deal. But they'll have the new backstop in.
It's Charlie Somm, and now he's going to have to get on page with the new pitcher.
Yeah, so it'll be a brief delay here. He'll probably catch a few warm-ups coming off the bench, cold turkey a little bit here.
And, for Somm, he's coming into a new game, and hopefully it's just precautionary for Carmichael coming out, as you don't need this. He looked to be pretty all right, shaking his hand a little as he came off the field. It looks like we're stepping right back into play.
He doesn't want to waste any time. I appreciate that.
Just a little conversation is all Somm needs to step back there. And we resume a 1-2 count on Cannon Peebles. Make that 2-2 as that misses outside.
Peebles. I mean, it's been the same story for him this season for the Harbor Hawks. Hard contact, unlucky. Finally,
2-2 fouled off.
Finally earned the home run there, and I know it had to feel so good for him to get that dinger.
I mean, you can't argue with his taste. Switching to number 2 is a great call.
Mm-hmm.
If it's available and they let you do it, why not?
And the guy who wore it before him was the hottest bat on the team when he left, Anthony Silva.
Another pickoff move over to first base. Eddie Pelk once again back in safely.
A guy who had kind of a similar season to Peebles. He was hitting the ball hard, getting really unlucky at first, and then his luck turned around. So
now Pelk goes, pitch low, and the newly inserted Somm can't hold on to it on the transfer. It's a clean stolen base for Eddie Pelk.
Eddie Pelk, not quite the speed that Tate or Kepley has, but can run above average speed, but not elite speed like Kepley or Tate. And got a good jump there, and there was never any chance at getting him out. Think low pitch.
Pelk proving the worries right for this YD defense as that pitch runs inside and clips Peebles. Another hit by pitch for this Harbor Hawks team.
That's been a lot of the base runners today came on the hit by pitches. King Kepley got hit by a pitch twice. Pelk got hit by a pitch. Saldivar has been hit by a pitch. And I believe that's the 5th hit by pitch today.
And here's Dalton Bargo now, another Tennessee product. And the second half of the back-to-back home runs that the Harbor Hawks delivered over in the 3rd inning. He swings and fouls one out of play on the first pitch he sees from Zukowski.
Yeah, and he knew it his off the bat. Did a little pimp job. When you hit it that far, you definitely can.
Pelk on second, Peebles on first. Nobody out in the top of the 7th inning. Harbor Hawks with a 3-run lead, making headway towards increasing that as that misses low. It's 1-1.
Team will have an off day tomorrow, a much needed off day before the 1-game playoff against either Wareham or Bourne. Their seeding still to be decided today. And
big swing there, knocking the elbow guard as Dalton Bargo swings through. It's 1-2.
and Bourne doing their part. So if Bourne wins and Wareham loses, they would jump into the 3 seed, or they would jump into the 3 seed. Wareham would fall down to the 4. And
1-2 fouled off out of play.
Bourne doing their part right now, up 10-5 in the top of the 6th against Cotuit. And Wareham currently trailing early, bottom of the 1st. It's been a shootout so far. Falmouth up 4-2 on them. Falmouth has gotten hot, but as of recently, but it's just been a little too late.
Looks to be ducks on the pond in that game. Bases loaded over in Wareham. Here, runners on first and second, a 1-2 count to Bargo, who swings through that. Strikeout swinging for the first out. Gives JP Acosta a chance.
Yeah, Acosta, Carrickers guy. Good contact, good glove.
Runners on first and second. Zukowski up to 20 pitches in his first inning of work. Just 1 out recorded as he misses high with the first pitch. It's 1-0. Now, as the cameraman for the Harbor Hawks, I don't get to go on the road much, or at least I don't have anything to do on the road. So I don't get to try this ballpark food, and I know there's been plenty talk about the ballpark food here in YD. Everywhere around you hear about their donut burger, and they might be sold out by now, but
probably are.
Certainly an interesting, delectable, sweet and savory mix there.
Yeah, so I had it the first time we were here. And it's solid. It fills you up. It's as filling as it gets. If you get a donut burger here, you don't have to worry about going back to a snack bar. But it's solid. I mean, I'm a big burger fan, and I like them. A big controversy, though, is they recommend putting ketchup on the burger.
That just sounds terrible.
So I did it.
Oh, no.
I honestly think it made it a little bit better. I had some of it without it, some of it with it. Adds a little bit of spice. It adds another layer to it, so it's not all just fat and sweet. And it helped.
It's a 2-1 count to Acosta as he looks in strike 2. Takes a step outside the box as he regathers himself. 2-2 count.
If there's one thing I know about Cape League teams, they like to have fun with their donuts and their burgers. Bourne has the Uncrustable burger. Brewster has a ice cream sandwich with a glazed donut as the bread.
Grounded between first and second. It'll get through for a base hit. Spinning around and coming home in safely. Eddie Pelk firing around from second base is in to score. And the Harbor Hawks up 5-1.
Yeah, that's a beautiful piece of hitting by JP Acosta. That's his game. Finds the hole in right. And there you see the speed. He's a weapon on the base paths. Is Eddie Pelk. And they tack on some more insurance. And it's really good to see these guys who will need to have, key moments in the playoffs if you want to make a playoff run. These guys that might not start the game. A guy like Acosta, a guy like Saldivar, or a guy like Bryce or Coonan. But they'll have their key moments. They'll have their opportunities if you make a deep playoff run, and you want to see them have success against the top team.
Speaking of, Saldivar up to the dish, fouling off the first pitch he sees. It's 0-1. On the Acosta single, Cannon Peebles wrapped around from first to third. So another insurance run 90 feet away with 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Zukowski takes a peek at first base before delivering the pitch. A high chop to second base. On to second for 1. The bounce onto first. Not in time. A run will score on the fielder's choice.
Yeah, good hustle there. Just had to put the ball in play. He runs pretty well, does Saldivar. Got down the line and earned himself a fielder's choice, but earned the team a run.
Trading it out for a run here. It's 6-1.
You're doing this against a team that ran away with the East really early in the season. There really wasn't much competition all throughout the season. It was them 1, Chatham 2 all season long, basically. And they've just been dominant all year. And they're going to be a dangerous team come Tuesday.
Dawson Bryce with another high chopper. This one to the shortstop. Garrett onto first for the out. A long one from Zukowski out of the bullpen, but he gets it done after 2 runs come across for the Harbor Hawks. They lead 6-1 as we enter stretch time here at Red Wilson Field. Welcome back to the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Bottom of the 7th inning, and another new arm on for the Harbor Hawks.
Yeah, Dominic Carbone, the Coastal Carolina arm, lefty, and he's been a guy who's had a phenomenal turnaround this season. At one point, had a very high ERA, was kind of in low leverage situations, and he has stepped up and gotten a really good role for this team this year. 10th appearance, 12 2/3, 4.97 ERA. He's put in a lot of work with pitching coach Ray Korn to finish his delivery and finish his pitch from the same angle and from the same release point every time. And that has done wonders for him this year to really be a shutdown arm recently. You'll see a sinker, slider, changeup, good late dive on the changeup, and can backdoor the slider to a lefty or to a righty and can pull it off and miss glove side to a lefty. So you'll see a lot of good action from him.
And Carbone will face the bottom of the Red Sox order.
Not going to be a super high velo guy, kind of a smaller dude, 5'10", 176. But the movement is where he excels.
Talmadge LaCroix leads things off for the Red Sox, fouling off the first pitch to the backstop. Carbone enters this game with a new 5-run lead. Some good offensive efforts in the top of the frame for Hyannis. We're going to translate onto the rubber as that one's fouled off towards the parking lot. It's 0-2. Now, they've been making mention of how close this parking lot is to the field, and my car is definitely not safe because I parked in a nice spot. It might be too nice.
I think you'll be okay. I have parked in Hyannis at McKeon Park in the danger zone every game this season, all 20 home games, and I didn't get hit once, or at least to my knowledge.
High pop, just sneaking over the screen into foul territory, over to the crowd. Some kids scaling the dugout. After that foul ball, the trainer for the YD Red Sox jogging over.
Yeah, scary.
Play stopped on the field.
We couldn't see it.
We'll step aside here in the bottom of the 7th. Actually,
they look. The early
looks like
returns.
we're ready to resume.
Yeah.
Home plate umpire Perotti stepping over, checking on first base umpire Ryan DeMar to see if we're ready to continue, and it looks like we will be. So we'll resume the action with an 0-2 count. Carbone comes set. The 0-2. Falling in low, it's ball 1-2.
Obviously, we hope the fan is okay. As Carbone trying to lock back in here. Up in the count, 1-2.
Brought a bit of a hush over this ballpark as the 1-2. Missing outside, it's 2-2.
Granted, in this position, wasn't that much noise to begin with. I will say pretty good, pretty well-packed house for not perfect weather and the last game of the season.
Foul ball into the netting behind home plate. It stays 2-2. Well, on paper, this looks like a great game between the two top teams in the league. You might call this a potential matchup for the championship looking at the numbers, but of course, when you're putting in standings implications, there's not much heat between these two teams at the moment.
No.
regardless of how many hit by pitches.
Yes.
It's a swing and a miss. Sends LaCroix down to the dugout, and the Harbor Hawks and Carbone off to a hot start to the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, really good pitch there. I believe that was the sinker. Hard late breaking action. Wave and miss.
So with one out, up steps Phoenix Call to the plate. Showing bunt and getting it down. Carbone will come off the rubber to field. Throw onto first in time, getting it to Bryce. The 1-3 put out, and quickly 2 away in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, try to get that bunt down, but a little bit too hard, a little bit too solid contact. And Carbone had time to field it with the glove and turn and fire. It was a close play, but you slow that down a little bit. You put it in that Bermuda Triangle. He's got a base hit, but can't get something going for his offense there.
Yeah, not ideal, especially trying to bunt for a hit. A little too far. And Carbone, that's the side for him to jump off and go field. And now Skylar King will step into the box. King on the day, singled in his last at-bat. And now first pitch swinging to the third baseman, Saldivar, who throws onto first in time for the out. A 1-2-3 inning for Carbone, and we'll head to the top of the 8th inning. You're watching the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Hawks lead 6-1.
And welcome back to Red Wilson Field. Top half 8th inning, Daniel Botolino, Charlie Adams with you. I'll be taking over play-by-play for the rest of this one. I'm a producer. Our star camera operator / producer you've gotten a few reps with that late in the season, and
trying to round it out here.
Yeah, we got jacks of all trades here: broadcaster, camera operator, and producer. As the leadoff man Bryce takes the ball outside.
Sikowski had 29 pitches after the first inning he worked, giving up 2 runs.
Strike on the outside edge. Here's the 1-1. Misses up and in.
A defensive substitution for for YD, and actually on offense as well. Skylar King did not take that last at-bat last inning. It was Gavin Gallagher, who plays left field now for the Red Sox.
Good call on that. Misses low and away. Count runs 2-1 to Coonan. As he'll swing and foul one off straight back. As the kids go for a long chase to that one, that makes the count full. 3-2.
These foul balls, everyone holds their breath and keeps their ears open.
3-2 pitch, chopped on the ground, high chop on one hop to third. Gloves and fires, and holding the bag is Martinez as the throw went a little bit wide for the first out of the top of the 8th, and that will reset the order and bring up Kane Kepley.
It was a productive inning in the 7th that gets Kane Kepley back up to the plate very quickly after flying out to the catcher, pop out in foul territory in the 6th inning.
First pitch to him misses up high. Kepley, one of just 2 position players that has been here the entire season. Him and Michael Datalo, who gets the much needed and much deserved off day, as that's looked at for a strike. In the pitching staff, Blaine Wink, Aaron Savary, Dominic Carbone, and Cade Brown still here from the original roster, as that's a big wave and a miss from Kepley.
You've really seen Kepley change his approach at the plate throughout the season. It nearly threatened his ability to take over that walk record, but then last game he was taking until it was 2 strikes every at bat, And that got him the 2 walks he needed, so he's back to swinging away.
And here's a ground ball moving to the second base side is the second baseman. Fumbles with it, can't pick it up, falls to the seat of his pants, and reaching is Kepley. We'll see if that goes down as a hit or an error, and that will be ruled an error on Michael Ball. So 1-on-1 out here in the top of the 8th for Josh Tate, the center fielder.
The fielder knows when Kepley's coming down that first baseline that they're going to have to be perfect. And after that first bobble, it was all she wrote. Kepley blazing speed down the line. Let's see if he'll try to steal again here.
Already has 2 on the day as that's fouled straight back by Josh Tate. He walked in the first, flew out or popped out to the second baseman. The second popped out to the catcher in the 4th and reached on a walk or make that strike, struck out looking.
Well, that's always a good sign. When the stretcher leaves empty, that's a good sign for anyone.
Yeah, the woman who was hit with the foul ball is walking out under her own power, followed by some medics, but hopefully that's just precautionary. And we certainly send our best wishes to her as the 1-1 pitch misses high. Hat comes off Chakowski. Gets the sign, takes a peek at Kepley and winds and deals, and it's going to be swung on and fouled off down the right field line off the netting on the side.
I know netting pros are big sponsors of the Cape League, but if you just grab them, you feel them, there's some quality nets right there.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that ad hundreds of times this season.
I'm sure our viewers at home have already heard it plenty of times as well.
Running is Kepley. Pitch is swung on and popped up foul. That might be a chance for one of our interns. And dropping the ball is one of our interns off his hands and into the chair and gets much deserved boos from the Harbor Hawk faithful. Tosses it to a kid. That kind of redeems himself. But still, a dropped ball.
The drop's unforgivable. And then he gives it to a Yankees fan wearing a Juan Soto jersey.
Wow.
Wouldn't be my pick.
No. He didn't deserve to keep it after that, though, as that's going to be bounced in the dirt. Good block by Song.
It's true.
Wow. And the baseball ops guys are supposed to be the best ball players, too. They're the ones that grew up playing, that were solid at baseball. We have multiple.
At least the baseball ops players know to bow their head when Juan Soto's in the house. Give that honor to Soto.
He has no excuse. The sun's not out.
That's a future Red Sox player right there.
3-2 pitch is fouled off. It's not dark out. He just dropped it.
That was perfect visibility. There was no excuse. But
hey, it's tough. Obviously ragging on him, and deservedly so, but it's not an easy play to make. We won't give him the error there. 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball got him. 2 away. And here is Pelk.
Eddie Pelk comes up to the plate with a couple strikeouts on his day. Hit by pitch and a walk, so 0 for 2 on the day. Both strikeouts looking. Now steps in from the left side with a runner on first.
First pitch is taken for a strike. Kepley still on first base, being held on by Martinez. Chakowski has given them some quality work here over the past inning and 2/3. Likely his last, he likely won't come out for the 9th, just based on what they've been doing with their arms so far today, as that pitch misses low and in. 1-1.
Yeah, it's another long inning for Zakowski on the mound. He's up to 48 pitches today. The starter, Caleb Williams, coming down from Chicago, finished with 70 pitches, so not too far out of that.
As that is ripped up the middle, a bullet into center field, and now a drop out there by the center fielder. They're going to send Kepley, as Call fumbled with it. Into second is Pelk. Into home is Kepley, and it's 7-1 on the single and E8.
Kepley planned on going to third off the bat. With the bobble in center, he rounded and headed home. The helmet nearly came off, and at that point, you just knock that thing off and let the hair flow. He left it on, and he gets in with the seventh run, for the Harbor Hawks.
So we'll see if they give him the RBI there. That's the Red Sox third error of the game. As Ken Peebles stands in, home run, hit by pitch, line out, and strikeout for him. So an eventful day for the Hyannis backstop. A big wave and a miss on the first pitch.
No RBI for Eddie Pelk. Going to be a single, and the error allowing Kane Kepley to come in to score, so an unearned run for Zhakowski.
So 0-1. Breaking ball misses up. 1-1. Dalton Bargo on deck, having a conversation with some of our interns. Cut and a miss. Foul tip into the glove. 1-2.
Some Tennessee support coming from the on-deck circle to Peebles at the plate. Peebles was hit by pitch his last at-bat, stranded at third base.
1-2. Deals, and that's swung on and popped up into left center. This could be a tough play. In comes Call, and he'll make the grab. That retires the side. So one scored, one left, and after 7.5, your score, 7 Harbor Hawks, 1 Red Sox. You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. And welcome back. Bottom half, 8th inning. New pitcher on the mound for the Harbor Hawks, Casey Hintz. What you got on him, Charlie?
Yeah, Casey Hintz, we talked about him being a two-way player earlier in the season. Now he's been mainly a pitcher, his strong suit. He has a sinker, slider, changeup mix, a ground ball pitcher. He throws out of the sidearm arm slot, and he's been pretty decent this season. You know, he's coming in, handling these batters, and his slider with that frisbee movement, it can really be a good pitch against these righties as a chase pitch. His changeup, some soft downward tilt, and it hides behind his sinker well. That good tunneling there. His sinker, 95th percentile nationally in vertical movement. He steps onto the mound here with a 6-run lead in the 8th inning.
Yeah, he'll be a guy that will likely be used in high leverage situations for the Hawks in the playoffs. This, not really a high leverage situation, more just trying to get him work. Hasn't pitched in a few days. Try to get him a little bit of work before the playoffs, as it will be a pinch hitter, I believe. Number 24, Jackson Chirillo. Swinging at the first pitch and sending it down the line to left. On the move is Kepley, still on the move. A few feet before the line, makes the catch in fair territory for the first out.
And some good range there from Kepley. It doesn't matter where you put him in the outfield. He'll cover some ground for you.
And so now Ryan Garrity, another pinch hitter.
And this is about what we expected at this point in this game, especially with the score the way it is, to start seeing some new faces coming into this game. Another one here.
Garrity, Franklin, Mass native, Northeastern kid. 1-0 pitch to him is missing outside. So he'll bat for Garrity. His day's done. Ethan Petrie is still standing on deck. There's a strike.
Garrity spent most of his summer in the NECBL with the North Shore Navigators. In 39 games, batted .428.
2-1 pitch. Fouled off himself.
And we've been telling you viewers all day long that this game isn't the most important for the Hawks And we're not telling you go tune into the ones that really matter for us, but they are some important matchups around the league, with Bourne up 11-5 on Cotuit in the bottom of the 7th, and another one to watch.
As that's taken at the knees inside edge. Got him looking. First K for Casey Hintz, and it's a backwards one.
Another game to watch around the league is that Falmouth and Wareham matchup. In the middle of the 3rd inning, Falmouth leads 5-3 over Wareham. Wareham had the bases loaded in the bottom of the 1st, squeaked home those 3 runs but couldn't get to tie the game and left the bases loaded, now trailing by 2.
Yeah, a lot of offense happening here around the Cape this Sunday, this regular season finale Sunday, all around. And yeah, Hyannis, they're set. The team they play, we won't know till the end of the Wareham game. Either Wareham or Bourne, we will see on Tuesday, as that pitch misses inside 3-0 to Ethan Petrie.
We do know that Falmouth is eliminated.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, yep, it's up in the air for who will travel to McKeon Park this Tuesday live on Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
That's taken for a strike on the 3-0. Makes the count 3-1. Petrie. Grounded out, single and pop out, and now a walk. As he takes low, and that will bring up Anthony Martinez.
Can't be too mad at walking Ethan Petrie. You know what he's capable of.
Yeah, 2-out walk. You can live with it in a 7-1 game.
See how Casey Hintz responds now with a runner on base.
Sure, he'll treat this like he will come from the stretch, but treat it like there's no one on as he takes a strike down the middle.
Hintz pitches with a pitch-by-pitch mindset.
As that catches the umpire, the throw down to second is going to be in time to get him, as that pitch got through Bargo, hit off the chest of the ump. Bargo picked it up and threw him out at second. Oh, kind of a weird play to end the inning, but it does end the inning. So, after 8, the Harbor Hawks lead 7-1. And welcome back to Red Wilson Field. A little bit of controversy here happening, as Cameron Kim, a position player for YD, had came out to pitch, but the umpires decided to call the game. So, much to the displeasure of everyone in this ballpark, the Harbor Hawks have won the game.
Well, it was a very nice moment between fans here coming together to let this game continue and hoping to see Cameron Kim, a position player, pitch on the mound. But I'm pretty sure the umpires were somewhat scared for their safety after their warm-up pitch, because they let Cameron Kim throw a warm-up pitch, and that was all she wrote for that. So that's going to end the game on a good timing, as we're not going to get to see a position player pitch, but the Hawks hold on to this one, 7-1.
Yeah, so a little disappointing there, but that does make the Harbor Hawks 24-14-2. They'll finish the year with 50 points. YD will finish the season 24-12-4 and have 52 points. We will still wait to see who the Harbor Hawks will play on Tuesday night, but a really good effort from this team tonight.
Yeah, it's been a perfectly solid season. You can't ask for too much more from Harbor Hawks. And at times it didn't really feel like this was going to be the season they were going to have, but they fought through it. They've brought in some new guys, and they've continued to build up here. And now as we enter the playoffs, we're at a good place here for the Hawks, and they pick up a good 7-1 win to enter the postseason.
Absolutely. So that will do it for us from Red Wilson Field. Let's see if I can get everybody who was on the broadcast tonight. For our producer / color commentator for the third inning, Chase Avery. For Jacob Irons, who was producing
For the third inning.
For Josh Schreiber and Nico Sharp. Mikey, Director of Baseball Ops Mike Maynard, Charlie Adams, Daniel Botolino, Matt Coates, and whoever else I missed. I'm Daniel Botolino saying good night from Red Wilson Field. We'll see you Tuesday.